Welcome to One Word Today. I'm Sophie, your pilot teaching at the University of Chinese. Let's keep exploring equestrian age characters. That's horse centers. So today it's Can. Can is today's horse, and I translate it as a chariot horse because as you can see from the mid-history 2,000 years ago dictionary, there's three circles, which give you the sense of there are three horses here because it's paired with horse, right? And 参, of course, it may not mean just horse. It simply means something that comes in three. And then we have the three with the wing. So this is a bird's wing abstraction. And to me, that seems like, okay, this means it's something go fast. And you have this three circles in there. It means it's the formation, something comes in three. And we know that Chinese actually abstract the concept of star as three circles in this arrangement, always the two at the bottom, one on the top, this triangle, and with one horizontal line in each of the circle. So Chinese recognize that stars actually are suns. They're just far away, and the suns are energetic. This horizontal line means energy, heat, light coming out of that energetic ball. Okay, so energetic sphere is a Chinese abstraction of sun. So three of them means a cluster of those solars far away. So that's Chinese star and China. We use this wing imagery paired with this cluster of star. Even if, I mean, there's no horizontal line in there, obviously, because they're so small. So it's hard to depict, but the abstraction, I guess, whoever use the language, pass the language on, or copy the language, have the kind of liberty to keep it or remove it, something like that. So this 参 eventually means a type of star. And this wing probably is the nebula, the surrounding space next to the stars. So in any case, these are space icons that comes with three formation. And Chinese pair that. And by the way, this even in contemporary Chinese, we use 1, 2, 3, like 1, 2, 3, right? But if we want to write Chinese, like hard to forge, because 1, 2, 3, if you only draw three horizontal lines, very easily it can be maneuvers and overwrite and change it into some other characters. To avoid that forgery, people use traditional Chinese, which we use this 参 as the number three. So on top of this three horizontal lines here, it becomes diagonal lines. That gave you the clue this is something three related. And then the top, just make it more complicated so that it's hard to change it anymore. And this came, oh, actually I can see here. The traditional and simplified differ in the number of this structure. And this structure actually is this triangular shape is an abstraction of the circular icon back then, probably because circles are hard to draw. And for Chinese to quickly standardize and, writing friendly, we make this triangle thing with a dot. So that's Chinese way to draw the circle a rectangular way. Okay, so this traditional also keep that three of them circles structure and then have this wings at the bottom. So this something related, we use that terminology to refer to three. It came from the three stars, it's from the space. And then when it pairs with the horse, that's three horse drawn chariot. And according to scholars, because I never see it, it happened way before us. That, okay, chariot as a war technology back then was invented probably around 2000 BC. That's when the spoked wheel was invented. And when somebody incorporate a spoked wheel to make it into a chariot for the purpose of a war, turn it into a war machine back then that technology was largely incorporated by sedentary cultures. So we talked about nomadic from the steppe region, that's big horizontal Eurasia grassland where people race and ride and live off horses. And they are the most likely the conquerors or invaders from the other to the other, like toward the west or east or south direction. Interestingly, I haven't read about it going northward. They always going south or west east. They are the ones that pair the chariot with horse. The formation would be 3 horses drawn the chariot and 2 crew person on the chariot. One will be the navigator to control the horses, which direction to go, and the other one is archer or spear person, somebody who hold a weaponry. So one is for the vehicle control, and the other one is weaponry control. And this duel would pair to become this almost like a tank equivalent of today's war technology. That Chariot was served as an ancient tank person, even if it's made of 3 horses and 2 men. And then they are, you can imagine it's a fast speed and it's hard for the foot soldiers to combat with. Somebody coming with on a with bow and arrow on a chariot and with speed and force developed from the horse. So this chariot horse, 3 horse structure was used in wartime, and until the 900 BC, somebody developed this horse riding by the warrior himself. So before it was 2 guys, right? One controlled the horse, one used the weapon, and now it merged onto 1 warrior. That gives even more freedom of mobility. And you can imagine with chariot, even 3 horse drawn, that will be limited speed. But if it's just 1 man riding on 1 horse, and this man can either shoot arrows or use beard or axes or I don't know what the weaponry back then. That could be very, very speedy, deadly. Okay, so 餐 is then the Chinese residual, because I don't see this expression in my everyday language anymore. That's a record of way in the past. As we say, from 2000 BC to roughly 1000 BC. So it's like 3,000 years ago. And that's when this chariot horse was used. And we still have this character in our language. Okay, 参驾 means tri-horse chariot. You have to control, navigate, use this tri-horse structure. And 两参如舞. So all of these are not my everyday language. Okay, so this is simply recorded in historic text. That's probably 2,000 years ago. Somebody still, they still live close to this chariot horse era, so they can still use this expression to describe something else. 两参如舞, there's 2 front horses, because the 3 horse, probably 2 of them positioned next to in the front of the chariot that pull forward of the chariot, and 1 horse probably is in the back. I don't know, never see. Okay, 两参如舞 is this 2 front horses, and from the frontal view, if they riding toward you, oh my God, imagine that. If this chariot drawn by the 3 horses and 2 of them on the front, and somebody described them as if it's long, like a dance. Dancing is more of a wartime or peacetime activity. I would imagine it's more peacetime. Like, can you dance in wartime? Probably there's a war dance. In any case, this expression compared the 2 horses. They are galloping, probably charging forward if it's in wartime. Use dance to describe them. I have some cognitive dissonance there. Like, it's hard to imagine you compare that to dance, unless you're on the victory side. If you view your army charging forward with this chariot, and they are almost like a dance forward toward their enemies, that's probably more dense. Like otherwise, if you're the one going to be charged and to be killed, you probably see that as a dense. Okay, 三驾马车 is today's expression. There's no 餐 in it, but it gives you clearly the definition of what 餐 is about. 三驾, three, harness, 马车, horse, carriage. So eventually we leave this chariot war technology after the invention of the one warrior control the horse structure. It's gone era, but then this horse chariot converted, transformed into a carriage, into a transportation format. And normally such transportation is drawn by three harness horses. And so probably that follow the tradition of the wartime, this chariot used by three horses. And the three horses retired, they are veteran horses, and then convert to civil life by still drawing a chariot, a vehicle, but now it's carriage instead of carrier. So I guess chariot is open roof so that you have no confinement. You can shoot arrows easily from the top of that any direction. But a carriage, probably you have a roof because there will be paid patrons in the carriage. They would require some weatherproof device in there. So carriage, chariot differ in roof or roofless. 三驾马车 was used to describe this structure. But in Chinese culture contemporary, the most commonly definition when we heard 三驾马车 is starts from somebody, some scholar, compare the engines of economy. I guess in Chinese context, that Chinese economy is drawn by this 三驾马车, there's three horses. So we symbolize Chinese economy or GDP as this carriage, and it's pulled or powered or engined by three horses, which is investment, consumption, and then export. These three, when you talk to any Chinese that listen to radios or contemporary mass communication device, 三驾马车 they would know it's referred to the three engines of economy, and that is a faraway callback to the carriage horse era. Okay, so here I try to find this chariot horse, and it happened to be three horses placed all in front of it. So I guess here is a setting, as you can see, these people leisurely sitting over there with the roof. So that means this is not a warrior. This is some aristocrat, some ruler who leisurely just go, travel with three horse drawn. In this case, it's a carriage, and they still use their three horse. And I guess because it's not wartime, so probably the third horse then placed in the front instead of in the back. All right, so that's 10 carriage horse. Thank you for your time. See you another day.